All right, I'm back. And we've got thunder happening outside, so entirely appropriate. So this is the time that we finished our ceremony in the afternoon, charging the holy water from the pool or the creek that runs through this property. We washed all of the gemstones after washing ourselves using resurrection hand wash and resurrection balm, and then I had a third resurrection product that came from a Greek store, and that was a result of a clue given to another. Mel, darling, well done. This is your resurrection, resurrection, resurrection. So this is the time that we finished Yah's rebirth date, and then I'll move on. This is the beginning of the climb with the cross made by our man. He did an awesome job. The upright being 1944 millimeters, the cross arm 1101 millimeters exactly, I am told. So halfway up, and look at this spectacular, this is really God's country. So we are climbing the Mount of God for the first time, because we're going to do it again just a couple of hours later, as it turned out. The views of this area of the Holy City, Australia, spectacular. And right, with the cross in place, we erected the cross first. The men dug the hole, put the cross in, and then built an altar of stones around it. And then beginning with the east side, the cross is facing the east gate, if you like. So I'm standing and I'm facing due west at the east gate. We buried the first 3 gemstones and the 3 pearls, representing the 1 pearl for each gate. There's 3 on each side. Then we moved to the north to bury the 3 gemstones there with 3 pearls, then to the south, and then to the west. And along with the western gemstones, including Yah's amethyst, was the sparkle rock that came from Ireland. Chukka led to it. The Celtic cross that I wear around my neck, again placed in Chukka's hand, 2006, and that cross was leaning against a piece of timber from the original cross of 33 AD. Extremely significant, and you're all familiar with my taking it to Emerald, Ireland, of course, being known as the Emerald Isle. I took it to Emerald in central Queensland to find a bush cross, where I placed it on the centre stone of the altar at the base of that cross. And in so doing, I have been completing my course. And the ceremony in the afternoon, and then after sundown on June the 17th, 2023, atop the Mount of God. So there's the cross from Ireland, and yes, the solar lights that were wound around the cross. So by the time we came back in the evening, it was lit up and it looked glorious. The capstone in place. This is symbolic. The Christ is the capstone to his altar, which is the Great Pyramid at Giza, the altar to the Lord in the midst of Egypt, from Isaiah 19:19 and 19:20. It's all about Yah, his rebirth date, part of the dimensions of the King's Chamber. Everything about it is identifying who the Christ is today. Yah here, then gone, to return once more, having fulfilled the prophecy of total and absolute rejection, only to return. So all of these events that have been occurring, and certainly we have been led to follow the blues clues and then play out. Remember, the whole world is a stage, said Shakespeare, and we are but bit players. we have been led to this point here where we have completed thoroughly what was required of us. And it was truly remarkable. So this is the afternoon. And then for the evening, now, the parable of the 10 virgins, 5 were prepared and 5 were not. And so the 5 that were prepared with oil, enough oil in their lamps, they went in with the bridegroom when they heard the shout and the cry that the bridegroom was come. They went into what is the bridal chamber, if you like. The 5 unprepared virgins come later, only to be found that they cannot get in. The door was closed, and the Lord himself is saying, I do not know you. Now, in the afternoon, we prepared the template for the holy city, the placement of the stones and the gates. So in the evening, playing out the parable of the now 5 virgins prepared, what we were doing is, I'll read to you, this is Venus, by the way, just looking glorious in the night sky. This fire had been lit earlier to now look like a lake of fire, and we stood beside it to, as I read from the Revelation 22 from verse 12 to 17, which is quoting, Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. So it's actually future. It's not what's past, it is future. His work shall be. Verse 13, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and last. 14, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. 15, for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Verse 16, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. 17, and the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him that heareth say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. So as we listen to those words, knowing that we had played out symbolically the preparing of the holy city, that now we would enter in through the gates into the city. And this is why we entered in through the east gate to face the cross, with our, again, ceremony facing the cross, the city having been prepared by what we did in the afternoon. We all drank freely. We brought a pitcher of the water from our pool here running through the property with Yah's holy water, silver water with his blood in it. The blood of the Lamb, the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. I have explained before, for without are dogs. Now that is symbolic of homosexuality, the movement that is flooding the planet today like a scourge. They have no idea how deceived they all are and how absolutely deluded they are. And the sorcerers, well, who are they? How about all the pharmacists and pharmakia and those doctors who prescribe sorcery as the answer to what was nothing more than a flu at the most with the COVID scenario, and the whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Well, who do we know? Well, we all know. I call them the swedge. You know exactly who they are. Now, Revelation 22:16, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. This is the first video that it was sent to me. I watched it on Adam's 17th birthday, March the 30th, 2008. So here I am back to the beginning. This was the evening that I found Yah after having searched for him on the earth almost 9 years, following Blue's clues, and then I found him. Yah was speaking this, and I saw it written. He said, I am the root and the offspring of David. What's that? It's a genetic bloodline. And the bright and morning star, which is Venus. And as I laid eyes on those words that he had typed on his 10-minute video uploads at that time, he said, that's me. Before he said, that's me, I knew that I had finally found him. So I sat for most of the night watching, going through his 141 10-minute videos he had at that time on the Michelle Nye channel. And then the rest is history, because I phoned him the very next morning. And that was the finding of Yah, though he always says he found me, and I would go, no, I found you. However, it was exactly 7 years before that he wrote to Connie Becker in the USA and said, now that he'd found Mary, we wait for Martha and Lazarus to come in. So it was 7 years later. And so the Spirit and the bride say, come. And let him that heareth say, come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. It is an invitation to all, whosoever will hear and come. More of the lake of fire, as we call it. And then finally, again, we gather through the Eastern Gate, and we have our time in front of the cross, the girls, with myself as the bride, representing and wearing the fine white linen of all the saints down through history. It was quite a moving moment, and my own gratitude and Yah's gratitude for those who have come together to see this accomplished. And yeah, this is me with my shawl back on. The shawl that I have worn now since 2004 on my return to Australia, it was presented to me, and it was from Scotland, a gift from Scotland. It is Scottish mohair, and how appropriate, Yah's bloodline from Ireland and then Scotland through King William the First, the Lion King of Scotland. And it was pretty remarkable. Today we're in a very small pub in a country town, and there's a photograph of a special guest from years ago of a man playing a guitar. His name was William Golightly. So with that, I'll say again, later gators, and remember, everything happening around the globe now is all within Yah's plan, and we look forward to seeing him again soon.